Hey everybody, welcome back to the Cabral Concept. So great as always to have you here in the show, especially for this Mindset and Motivation Monday. I'm going to be going through a topic that's near and dear to me, and that's for asking more out of life. I'll explain exactly what that means. I'm going to take you through a client case study that I actually work with a client on this. And I also want to talk about a theory, or it's something that I've just coined called the possibility of positivity. And I want to share with you exactly what I mean by that, how to use it more in your life. And I believe that when you do, you will be able to get more out of life. You'll enjoy life to a greater degree, but you'll also understand the balance that comes as being a human being. So let's get right into it. This came about actually just a conversation last week. Private client inside of my practice. I do these deep dive consultations. They're 3 hours long. They take about 3 hours to prep for and go through all of the labs that people have run over the past 12 to 24 months. It includes everything, and it takes quite a while to go through. And then what I do is I have a 3-hour appointment with them later that week. And so as usual, we say our hellos, we ease into it, of course, and then I begin to ask them their whole health history. And the health history, not that I think is important, but actually what I am looking for through these specific questions that I ask that are not overly probing, but they get to the crux as to what's actually going on. So we go through the usual things of what they were ailing with, what their particular issues were. This person's was a specific autoimmune issue. And then, of course, there were other things going on, such as some bloating, some digestive-based issues, some skin rashes, etc. And so I listened to everything and I understood exactly where they were today, but I always like to know how they got here. And so for them, we talked about different medications they had used and whatever it might be. But the one thing that they were not sharing with me was this person held a deep level of stress within them. Now, they were open to talking about it with me, but they didn't necessarily believe that it would be part of their healing journey. And so when I started to just ask about it and share how the what's called the hormone. So when we look at our hormones in our body, cortisol is one of them. It's the stress hormone, and how that's affected by the way that we think. It's called the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, and affects our thyroid and affects our immune system. And they never once really started to consider that. But when I asked them, well, what's your stress level? And they said, well, it's probably a 12 out of 10. And so when I started to ask more about the specific stressors in their life and when these stressors started, they actually could trace back as to when that started to kick off their autoimmune issue within that same year of this very large stressor that has just continued throughout their life. And it's not the same for everyone, but stress plays a very big role in our health. And so I said, I understand, and I understand that it's not always easy to overcome these stressors just overnight. But what I'm hearing you say as we're now walking through this in a little bit different light is that in your life right now, you are always planning for the worst to happen. You literally have contingency plans for all of the negative things that could happen with your finances, with your health, with your children, with the environment, with politics, with economics, with everything around you. I've heard about all these alluding to negative things that could happen. And I just asked this individual, do you ever focus on the possibility of positivity? And what I meant by that was, do you ever think about what could go really well? What could go right? What could be even better than you expected to be? And flat out they said, no, that's never even entered my mind. I'm so preoccupied with everything that I'm worried about, that I'm always planning for what's going to go wrong next and how I'll be able to get through it. And I realized at that moment that this is a survival, not thriving, but a survival-based pattern that they picked up most likely during childhood, that they never overcame. That they are always looking at themselves as the ultimate caretaker of everyone else and always putting themselves last. Or just with the trauma-based mindset that whatever could go wrong will go wrong, as Murphy's Law states, right? And so because of that, even though they've done quite well in life, in certain areas of their life, I should say. We have 5 main areas of our life, right? We have our relationships, we have our spirituality, we have our health, we have our body. I like to put that in there because that's really what we need, right? If we don't have a healthy body, it's difficult to move us through life. And then, of course, we have our job or our passion or our finances, whatever you want to kind of put in that one lump sum right there. And the issue is some of those areas were really beginning to fall behind. And it was because they never went after life in the full possibility of what could go well. And if you're always focused then on what could go wrong and you're overwhelmed and anxious about the future, it almost prohibits you from even thinking about bigger goals, aspirations, and what could go right. And so you can get by. You can do well with always planning for what could go wrong. There's no doubt about it. And a lot of times that you offset what may go wrong. And I don't have any problem with that. I just would hate that to be the focal point of your life instead of focusing on all the mini miracles that could go right, that you say, how is it possible that this happened? Right? How is it possible that I was able to not only get my health back, but I'm even better than I was before? Or you're looking to improve your job or finances, and not only do you get to that next level, it's greater than you ever thought it could be. Or in terms of body transformation, you would have been happy with losing 5 pounds or 10 pounds, but instead you improved your overall muscle tone, your endurance, your energy, everything about the human form. And instead of just arguing necessarily with your spouse or partner, you're actually enjoying each other's company and a deepened spirituality with the world. Why can't we strive for those things? So my true ask, I was going to, of course, help her through everything that this individual needed in terms of the specific protocols, healthy lifestyle, nutrition, detoxification, the whole de-stress protocol customized for this individual, no doubt about it. But what I also shared was, ultimately, in order to get better in one area, we really want to get better overall as an individual. And so much of not just autoimmune issues, but just our enjoyment in life come from stress holding us back. It holds back the immune system, but it also holds back possibilities in our thought process. You don't even feel comfortable thinking about great things potentially happening because it's this block in your brain. It's this cognitive dissonance between what you believe and the possibility that things may be different, right? It's like, so once you believe in something so deeply, we see this online all the time, it's really difficult to even allow another contentious thought to compete with it. You don't even keep an open mind to it because it would change your entire dogma of how you see the world. And so the nice thing is, with a 3-hour consult, I was able to just slowly work these things in. And I'm not saying that I changed and helped this person rewire their mindset in that one appointment, but what I left open was hopefully the door to being able to read more, listen more, explore more into the territory that you are the creator of your own life. Now, I'm not taking God or the universe out of the picture, but you play a role in that. You can look at yourself as a human being that is here to experience all of life. Yes, unfortunately, that has to include some suffering. That's part of it. But it also should include great joy and happiness at the same time. And for you to be able to move your boat, your life, and row it in the direction that you wanted to see, not just away from all of the bad things. And so my hope for you and for everyone is to start to write down, to journal, to not have to be perfect about it, but just like, where would you like to see your life in a year from now, 2 years from now? And start to, as we say, suspend disbelief. Begin just for a moment to daydream, to allow yourself to explore the possibility of positivity, that things could go well. And if they did go well, what would that look like? Where would you be 1 year from now? For you, for your children, or your parents, or grandparents, or whatever it might be, what would that look like? And then, if those things were to be true, what would have to happen next? And so that's how we start to make it a little bit more real. Let's say that you do need or want that new career. Well, what would have to happen next? What actions would you need to take? Or coaches, professors, individuals, education that you would need to have in order to get to that next level? And then if that were the case and you knew what you needed to do, how would you go about doing that? And so it's simply the process of saying, one day, I don't know when it's going to happen, but one day I would love to be able to get here. And you can do it with health. You can do it with body transformation. You can do it with your career, hobbies, passions, relationships, spirituality. One day I would love to be here. Okay, great. What then do we need to do, or what, not even you, but what would an individual need to do in order to get there? Okay, an individual like that who were to achieve these things would have to have done this, 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 and this. Okay. Now, before they would do those things, would they need anything else? And you might say, yes, they would need to do X, Y, and Z. Great. And before they did X, Y, and Z, is there anything else that they would need to know or do before they got there? And if the answer is yes, you just keep working backwards. That's why this is not meant to be a 5-minute exercise, but give yourself 30 minutes, 60 minutes to go to a coffee shop, a cafe, get away from your typical day-to-day and just start to dream about the possibility of what may go right. Or if it were to, and you were be able to be the designer of your life, what would that look like? And then at that point, it is my opinion that you start to then ask for more out of life. And it is not selfish, because every person that I know, I mean, again, this isn't the case for every single person in the world, but everybody I know who's successful in some way, shape, or form, they have more than to give. I've seen this like in every case. The more successful a person gets in whatever it is, their happiness quotient increases. Are they more happy with the people around them? Typically, yes. If someone's struggling in all areas of their life, let's just go back to me. If someone's struggling in their health like I wasn't happy, wasn't all that fun probably to be around, just poor mindset, was I more fun to be around back then? I'm assuming no. Like, I'm way happier now and I'm able to give more because there's more for me to be able to give, right? What can pour out more? A glass that's only a quarter full or one that's completely full? If it's full, you have more to pour out for others. And so this is why I say to you, ask for more out of life. There's no harm in doing so. Begin to dream bigger. All of these things not only benefit you, which, by the way, there's no harm in that it does not take away from others. There's enough abundance in this world where everyone can win. Because I'm telling you right now, as you achieve your goals, you're going to begin to realize that in order for it to come full circle, you'll then want to teach that with others. Almost every single one of our integrative health practitioners, or the integrative health practitioners, they're not ours, all came from a place of trying to heal, whether it's themselves, a child, a grandparent, maybe they were a nurse, maybe they were, again, a parent taking care of a sick child, a sick grandparent, and they want to understand how it is to help themselves or someone else heal. And then once they're able to do that, successfully heal themselves, a parent, a child, in their workplace, they can't help but then want to share that with others. Why? They solved a great mystery in their life. And no doubt there is someone else in the world who needs that answer. That's why I've always said, if I do this podcast and I can just reach another individual and I can shortcut their path to success, it's all worth it. And that's the truth. Every single day I wake up saying, I'm going to help one person. I'm going to help one person. That's really what it's all about. And so if you post something helpful on social media or whatever it might be, and you can help just one person, it's really worth it. But you don't get there until you begin to fill up your own cup, that you begin to help yourself. And then it overflows this way in a positive way to others as well. They even see you. For this individual that I worked with just last week, they're going to get healthy. 3 to 6 months for this autoimmune issue. They're going to get healthy. They're going to rebalance their body. And when they do, they're going to be a new light for others. Because when they go out to dinner with friends, with family, people are going to say, what changed? You look less inflamed, more energetic. you're happier, and they're going to say, I found out that I had these gut-based issues, that I had these heavy metals, that I was carrying around so much stress in my life. And once I began to do the work and ask for more out of life, I began to heal. And they're going to say, that's amazing. Some people will dismiss it because they don't want to be a part of it. That's okay. They don't want to do that work. That's all right. That's not the right time in their life right now, but that's all right. You don't have to push it on those individuals, but you stay open that in the future, there's a possibility of positivity for them as well. But there will be at least one other person that says, I'd like to learn more. I'm suffering from some of those symptoms that you once were. And now, because you helped yourself, you are now there to help that other individual. You might not have all the answers, but you can at least point them in that right direction. So I want to share with you one more thing here today that we've often been taught as children not to always ask, not to keep saying, I want this, I want this. The universe, God, however you want to look at it, is all-knowing, all-powerful, and has everything that it is that we need. I truly believe that. It is abundance more than we could possibly imagine. And if we go to the ocean with a pail, right? You take a pail of water from the ocean. You take a dumpster size pail to the ocean. Plenty more ocean, right? That is how I look at it. That is what I've seen in my own life. So I ask, if not for you, but for those that you could truly help, to ask for more out of life. You do that, not only will you be rewarded, but all those around you. So I wish you all of the best life has to offer. Please let us know if we can answer any questions. And of course, I look forward to again speaking with you on the Cabral Concept tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing day. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.